पाश्चात्य देश धारणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So welcome all devotees for the morning Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna Katha. So we are uh, hearing from the Krishna book today, and we will hear the chapter from the Krishna book, 88th chapter from the Krishna book. And this is a very big chapter, as two main stories, like it is one only, but two stories are explained in this chapter. So Krishna book is totally derived from the Srimad Bhagavad Puran, Canto 10, and the chapter 88, named as the Deliverance of Lord Shiva. So, Lord Shiva, how he got delivered by Krishna, means he got saved from the demon named Vrikasura. That we'll see. But the chapter continues, or chapter starts with the continuation from the previous chapter. That is the name of the previous chapter was Prayers by the Personified Vedas. So, in that chapter, it was the questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj, and the discussion between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukdev Goswami was related to the devotees of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. So that discussion continues in this chapter, and then the story of Vrikasura comes. So we will just start reading, and we will understand what is the chapter discuss or chapter tells to learn something from the Krishna Leela. So this is the deliverance of Lord Shiva. How Lord Shiva got delivered from the Lord Krishna, because Krishna saved him from the Vrikasura. So I'm just reading from the Krishna book, and we'll see one by one how the experiences. I will quickly read. As a great devotee of Krishna, King Parikshit was already liberated, but for clarification, he was asking various questions of Sukdev Goswami. In the previous chapter, King Parikshit's question was, what is the ultimate goal of the Vedas? And Sukdev Goswami explained the matter, giving authoritative descriptions from the disciplic succession, from Sanandan down to Narayan Rishi, Narada, Vyasdev, and then Sukdev Goswami himself. The conclusion was that the devotional service or bhakti is the ultimate goal of the Vedas. So first question Parikshit Maharaj was asked, that is asked by Parikshit Maharaj, was what is the ultimate goal of the Vedas? And the answer given to the Parikshit Maharaj question is that mm, the conclusion was that the devotional service or bhakti is the ultimate goal of the Vedas. So there are many questions, like in the almost 60% of the chapter is filled with the questions, and these questions are related to the what is the ultimate goal. Ultimate goal is the devotional service. The devotional service to whom? So a neophyte devotee may question, if the ultimate goal of the life or conclusion of the Vedas is to elevate oneself to the platform of devotional service, then why it is observed that a devotee, this is a second question, why it is observed that the devotee of Lord Vishnu is generally not very prosperous materially, whereas a devotee of Lord Shiva is found to be very opulent? And this is the main question of this chapter. So we will now understand, because reading, if we read, then it will be 10 o'clock. So if we read complete chapter, so I will just briefly tell what are the questions and how the Parikshit Maharaj is answering, because in the Krishna book it is explained in a very graphical way. So it is like setting the mood, and then it is explained in a story form. So I will brief about the further questions by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukdev Goswami, and answers by Sukdev Goswami to the Parikshit Maharaj. So for this question, where Parikshit Maharaj asked that why then the a neophyte can ask that why Lord Krishna devotees are poor and Lord Shiva devotees are rich. Even Lord Shiva is staying in a very uh, like he stays in a forest, and is not staying very opulently, but Krishna stays very opulently in Vaikuntha planet, even in the other planets also, and in the material world also. But devotees appear poverty stricken, and Shiva lives underneath a tree or in a snow Himalaya mountains. He does not even construct a house for himself, but still worshippers of Shiva, Lord Shiva, are very rich. So Maharaj Parikshit question was very rich, and devotees like in Krishna conscious society also, we also may get some questions like this sometimes. So very nice learning from this is the answer given by Sukadeva Goswami. So even in South India, as you all are from South India, Bangalore. So here the devotees of Ramanujacharya and Shankaracharya, they discuss or they debate somewhere many times in between them regarding this topic only. That who is the greatest, Lord Shiva is the greatest or Lord Krishna Vishnu is the greatest. So they are always have confusion in this about this, and many times Ramanujacharya followers win this battle or win this debate, and Parikshit Maharaj uh, wanted to clarify the situation by asking the question to the Sukadeva Goswami. Then Lord's and same question. So replying to Parikshit's inquiry, Sukadeva Goswami said that Lord Shiva is the master of material energy. The material energy is represented by goddess Durga. And because Lord Shiva happens to, I am reading from Krishna book only. So the material energy is represented by goddess Durga, and because Lord Shiva happens to be her husband, goddess Durga is completely under his subjugation. So this material energy, the master of this material energy is Lord Shiva, and it is run by uh, his wife, that is Durga. Uh, So the material energy represented by goddess Durga, and because Lord Shiva happens to be her husband, goddess Durga is completely under his subjugation. Thus Lord Shiva is understood to be the master of material energy. The material energy is manifested in three qualities, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. And therefore, Lord Shiva is the master of these three qualities. Although he is in association with these three qualities for the benefit of the conditioned soul, Lord Shiva is their director and is not affected. In other words, although the conditioned soul is affected by three qualities, Lord Shiva, being their master, is not. From the statements of Sukadeva Goswami, we can understand that the effects of worshipping different demigods are not, as some less intelligent person suppose, the same as the effect of worshipping Lord Vishnu. So the effect of worshipping Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu are different, because Lord Shiva is the uh, master of the material energy. The effect which devotees, worshippers of Lord Shiva will get is the control or is related to the material energy only. And the Lord Vishnu is the giving the reward to the worshippers of Lord Vishnu, because Lord Vishnu is the Jagannath, but Lord Vishnu is Vaikuntha. He is a resident, means he stays in Vaikuntha planet, and um in the Vaikuntha planet, he gives the liberation to his devotees to the Vaikuntha planet. And any devotee who is a worshipper of Lord other than Lord Vishnu will never get the liberation to the Vaikuntha planet by worshipping different demigods. So it is explained in Bhagavad Gita also that those who worships the different demigods achieve the desired results. The respective demigod can reward. Means Lord Shiva is the master of material energy, so he cannot give the liberation to the uh, materialistic, means liberation to the Vaikuntha planets, because it is not under his jurisdiction. Understood? So that's why Lord Shiva can reward the benefits given by the material energy only. That is the richness in the material world. But Lord Vishnu can reward the liberation to the Vaikuntha planet, liberation to the Goloka planet, to his devotees, because he can give that. So whatever is in the jurisdiction, that only the demigods can give. But Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu is the supreme Lord of all the Lord, all the Devi Devatas also. Then that's why he can give the liberation to the Vaikuntha planets. So those who engage in devotional service or in the worship of Supreme Lord Vishnu or Krishna go to the Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Loka. One cannot approach the transcendental region or Paravvyom, the spiritual sky, by worshipping Lord Shiva or Brahma or any other demigod. So although the devotees of Lord Shiva are able to obtain many a material acquisition, we should know that such devotees are simply collecting products manufactured by the three qualities. The three qualities are again subdivided into 16, namely the 10 senses, 5 working senses and 5 knowledge acquiring senses, the mind and the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air and ether. These 16 items are extensions of these three qualities. Material happiness or opulence means gratification of the senses. Especially, this is a very important point which is explained by Prabhupada here in the Krishna book. The means because of getting the reward of material energy in the material creation, which is associated with the 16 items, 16 uh, three qualities which are divided into 16. So all these happiness which we get by connecting, means the devotees of Lord Shiva get by connecting to these three material energies and the 16 items, is the material happiness which is for sense gratification. And especially the senses are the genital, the tongue and the mind. So these three are very like mind, uh, then stomach, which is like a mind, tongue, and then tongue is satisfied, then stomach is fulfilled, and then fulfilling the stomach, the genitals will get aggravated, and by exercising our genitals and tongue, the mind will get more pleasure. Like that, the situation happens in the material world, and this material creation is associated with all this, and that's why Lord Shiva devotees get the richness, and because they are connected with the material energy. But that is the fall down in the spiritual platform. How it is, we'll read. So, mind we create many pleasurable things just for enjoyment by the genitals and the tongue. The opulence of a person within this material world is estimated in terms of his exercise of the genitals and the tongue, or in other words, how well he is able to utilize his sexual capacities, and how well he is able to satisfy his fastidious taste by eating palatable dishes. Material advancement of the civilization necessitates creating objects of enjoyment by mental concoction just to become happy on the basis of these two principles, pleasures for the genitals and pleasures for the tongue. Herein lies the answer to King Parikshit questions to Sukdev Goswami as to why the worshippers of Lord Shiva are so opulent. So understood, the answer is given very nicely by Sukdev Goswami. Then again, same question is discussed in many different scenarios. So main answer which was like devotees of Lord Shiva, they are opulent, and because of that opulent, they are uh, falling down on the spiritual path. That's why devotees of Lord Krishna are not so opulent, and devotees of Lord Shiva are opulent because they are connected with the material energy, and Lord Shiva is the master of material energy, master of three gunas. Um, Devotees, they are getting the opulent which is in this material world only. But Lord Vishnu devotees, Lord Krishna devotees getting the opulent in the Vaikuntha planet. The devotees of Lord Shiva are opulent only in terms of the material qualities. Factually, so-called advancement of civilization is the cause of entanglement in the material existence. It is actually not advancement but degradation. The conclusion is that because Lord Shiva is the master of the three qualities, his devotees are given things manufactured by the interaction of these three qualities for the satisfaction of the senses. In the Bhagavad Gita also, however, we get instruction from Krishna that one has to transcend this qualitative existence. Means in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells that devotees, those who want to worship me, they have to go above these three qualities, that is goodness, passion and ignorance. So nistraigunya bhavarjuna, the mission of human life is to become transcendental to these three qualities. Unless one is nistraigunya, he cannot get free from the material entanglement. In other words, favors received from Lord Shiva are not actually beneficial to the conditioned souls, although material such facilities are seem opulent. So understood, this is very clear. Even though Lord Vishnu devotees or Lord Krishna devotees are not opulent, that is given as a benediction by the Lord. So, Sukdev Goswami continued, the supreme personality of Godhead Hari is transcendent to these three qualities of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord states that anyone who surrenders unto him surpasses the control of these three qualities of material nature. Therefore, since Hari's devotees are transcendental to the control of three material qualities, certainly he himself is transcendental. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is therefore stated that Hari or Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead. there are two kinds of prakritis, the potencies, namely internal and external potency. Krishna is overlord of both. He is Sarvadrik, the overseer of the actions of the internal and external potencies, and he is also described as the Upadrishta, the supreme advisor. Because he is the supreme advisor, he is above all the demigods who merely follow the directions of the supreme advisor. As such, if one directly follows the instructions of Supreme Lord as inculcated in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then one gradually becomes nirguna, or above the interactions of the material qualities. So again, Sukadeva Goswami answers the Parikshit Maharaj by giving the example or the instance which has happened in the Pandavas. So Sukadeva Goswami was discussing this answer with the Parikshit Maharaj, and he gives the example of his grandfather, that is King Yudhishthir. So Yudhishthir Maharaj was the king, and when he was put into so many distressful situations, even the Pandavas, we can see in the Mahabharata, Krishna was having everything. Krishna is he is the Jagannath, so he can give everything, but still he kept Pandavas into distressful situation, and he achieved that was for some duration. Duryodhana was seeming that like he will be victorious. Even Dhritarashtra took the uh, astrological charts also of uh, Duryodhana, that who will win the war. And even astrological charts was saying that uh, the Duryodhana will able to win the war, because the astrological planetary positions were like that at that position, that time, that it will be beneficial for the Duryodhana than to the Arjuna and Pandavas. But because only the Krishna, which is the victory in all the senses, uh, all time will be victorious, because all the planet and astrology will be under the supervision or under the control of Lord Krishna. So only because Lord Krishna was on the side of Pandavas, that's why Pandavas were victorious. And we can understand this, that means Sukadeva Goswami is giving here the example of Yudhishthir Maharaj, because Yudhishthir Maharaj also asked the same question to Supreme Lord Krishna. The Sukadeva Goswami specifically referred to King Yudhishthir as your grandfather, so that Maharaj Parikshit would be encouraged to think that he was related to Krishna, and that his grandfather were intimately connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although by nature Krishna is always very satisfied, when Maharaj Yudhishthir asked this question, the Lord become very more satisfied, even more satisfied, because the question and its answer would hear a great meaning for the entire Krishna conscious society. So these questions which are asked, that is for our benefit. Actually, we should understand this, that this is not only their discussion. They discuss because to elevate us. So they have a very long, they think for a long, like very far they think and they discuss. Whenever Lord Krishna speaks about something to specific devotee, it is meant not only for that devotee but for all the devotees, and indeed for the entire human society. Instructions by the Supreme Personality of Godhead are important even to Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the other demigods. And if one does not take advantage of the instructions Supreme Personality of Godhead who descends within this world for the benefit of all living entities, he is certainly very unfortunate. So Lord Krishna answered the question of Maharaj Yudhishthir as follows. If I especially favor a devotee, very important, if I especially favor a devotee and especially wish to care for him, the first thing I do is take away all his riches. When the devotee becomes a penniless pauper or is put into a comparatively poverty stricken position, his relatives and family members no longer take interest in him. And in most cases, they give up their connection with him. The devotee then becomes doubly unhappy. First of all, devotee becomes unhappy because his riches have been taken away by Krishna, and he is made even more unhappy when his relatives desert him because of his poverty. We should note, however, that when a devotee falls into a miserable condition in this way, it is not due to past impious activities known as karma phala. The poverty of the devotee is a creation of the personality of Godhead. Similarly, when a devotee becomes materially opulent, that is also not due to his pious activities. In either case, whether the devotee becomes poorer or richer, the arrangement is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very important. This arrangement is especially made by Krishna for his devotee just to make him completely dependent upon him and to free him from all material obligations. He can then concentrate his energies, mind and body, everything for the service of the Lord. And that is the pure devotional service. So very nice. The Lord takes care of us by taking away all our money, all our opulence, just to make us more dependent on Him and become more situated and entangled or associate with the pure devotional service. So that is the ultimate and very nice to learn. So, as explained before by the personified Vedas, the happiness and distress of a devotee are produced by personality of Godhead, and the devotee therefore does not care whether he is in happiness or distress. He goes on with his duties by executing his devotional service. Although his behavior seems to be subject to actions and reactions of fruitive activities, he is actually freed from the results of actions. Then again, whatever condition of life the Lord puts him in, whether one distress or happiness, it is to be understood that behind this arrangement, a large plan designed by the personality of Godhead. Means, even we can understand that recently the very nice movie that is Mahavatar Narsimha came. So, in that also, we can understand the devotee of Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, who is taking the name of Lord Narayana, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Like that, he is chanting, and still he puts into so many distressful conditions because there was a big plan. Because Lord Narsimhadev wanted to uh, appear on this planet, on this earth. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj was put into so many distressful situations. But Prahlad Maharaj was very guaranteed. He was very focused that yes, I can't give attraction to him. It is not under my control. Very nice dialogues were given, and that were totally from the Bhagavad Puran. So, uh, yeah. So, even Lord Krishna put Pandavas into distressful conditions so acute that even grandfather Bhishma could not comprehend how such distress could occur. So, after that, means that whole discussion between Lord Krishna and uh, Yudhishthir Maharaj was given and explained to the Parikshit Maharaj by Sukadeva Goswami. And therefore, a devotee's happiness and distress and karmi's happiness and distress dis- are not on the same level. So, karmi they get satisfied because of their karma phala, but uh, devotees distress is not due to karma phala; it is arranged by the Lord. So here is another question may be raised. If the Supreme Lord is all powerful, why should he try to perform his devotee by putting him in distress? So the answer is when a devotee is put into a distressful situation, his devotional activities are accelerated. So Lord likes to feel that enthusiasm in us. So when we are putting into distressful situation, we get aggravated in our devotional service, devotional principles. We follow our regulative principles, our daily sadhana, daily practice of the Krishna consciousness very rapidly, very intensely. And that's why Lord likes that and Lord keeps us keeping in distressful situation. But when his devotee is in distress, he must come. Therefore, the Lord does not need to come down personally to kill such demon. Like a Lord come to kill Hiranyakashipu. No. Hiranyakashipu can be killed by any material energy. But Lord came personally in the form of Narsimadev to protect or to fulfill, to give darshan to his devotee, that is Lord Prahlad Maharaj. So when the devotees are in distress, Lord surely comes. Lord will never wait. So therefore, uh, Lord personally give protection to his devotees. That will never be given to the any any worshippers of the demigods. So then Lord continued and tells the story. And then after that, Sukadeva Goswami explained the story of Lord Shiva giving benediction to demon named Vrikasura. So once Lord Shiva, after giving a benediction to a demon named Vrikasura, the son of Shakuni, was himself entrapped in a very dangerous situation. So now the deliverance of Lord Shiva and the story comes about the Vrikasura. So Vrikasura was the son of Shakuni, and Vrikasura was searching after a benediction and trying to decide which of the three presiding deities to worship in order to get in. So he met Narada, and Narad Muni advised him, because Narada was knowing that who is the what is the intuition or what is the ultimate goal of the Vrikasura. He was knowing the Asura mentality, and then he was giving them the advice. So Narada met Vrikasura and gave him the advice to worship Lord Shiva because he wanted the result quickly. And Vrikasura also worshipped. Vrikasura went to the received the instruction from the Narada, and the demon Vrikasura went to Kedarnath. The pilgrimage site of the Kedarnath still exists near Kashmir. It is almost always covered by snow, but for part of the year during the month of July, it is possible to see the deity, and devotees go there to offer their respects. Kedarnath is for devotees of Lord Shiva. According to Vedic principle, when something is offered to the deities to eat, it is offered in the fire. Therefore, Vrikasura tried to ignite a fire there and for the sacrificial fire to please Lord Shiva. And after igniting the fire in the name of Lord Shiva, to please him, Vrikasura began to offer his own flesh by cutting it from his body. So much sacrifice. Here is instant of worship in the mode of ignorance. So it is explained very nicely in the Kṛṣṇa book that how the devotees or worshippers of Lord Shiva has to do so much austerity to please him. But worshipping Lord or pleasing Lord Kṛṣṇa is very easy. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta. So it is very easy to please Lord Vishnu. To please Lord Shiva and to please Lord Brahma, there are many austerities need to be taken. So here is an instant of worship in the mode of ignorance. In the Bhagavad Gita, different types of sacrifice are mentioned. Some sacrifice are in the mode of goodness, some are in the mode of passion, and some are in the mode of ignorance. There are three kinds of tapasya, and worshippers worship three kinds of tapasya and worship because there are different kinds of people within this world. But the ultimate tapasya, Krishna conscious, is the topmost yoga and the topmost sacrifice. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, the topmost yoga is to think always of Lord Krishna within the heart, and the topmost sacrifice is to perform the Sankirtan Yajna. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the worshippers of the demigods have lost their intelligence, as revealed later in the chapter. Vrikasura wanted to satisfy Lord Shiva for a third class materialistic objective, which was temporary and without real benefit. The asuras or persons within the mode of ignorance will accept such benediction for the demigods, in complete contrast to the sacrifice in the mode of ignorance. The Archana Vidhi process for the worshipping Lord Vishnu or Krishna is very simple. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that he accepts from his devotees even a little fruit, a flower, or some water, which can be gathered by any person, rich or poor. Of course, those who are rich are not expected to offer only a little water, or little piece of fruit, or a little leaf to the Lord. A rich man should offer according to his position. But if a devotee happens to be very poor man, the Lord will accept even the most meager offering. The worship of Lord Vishnu or Krishna is very simple, and it can be executed by anyone in this world. But worship in the mode of ignorance, as exhibited by Vrikasura, is not only very difficult and painful, but is also a useless waste of time. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita says that the worshippers of demigods are bereft of intelligence. Their process of worship is very difficult, and at the same time, the result obtained is flickering and temporary. So, after this giving flesh on the sacrificial fire, Vrikasura keeps doing that, but he does it uh, for almost 6 months. Just a minute. No, 6 days. Although Vrikasura continued sacrifice for 6 days, he was unable to personally see Lord Shiva, which was his objective. He wanted to see him face to face and ask him for the benediction. Here is another contrast between a demons and devotees. A devotee is confident that whatever he offers to the deity in full devotional service is accepted by the Lord, but a demon wants to see his worshipable deity face to face, that so that he can directly take the benediction. A devotee does not worship Vishnu or Krishna for any benediction. So there is no any apeksha, though there is no any reservation that Lord will come and bless me. Tathastu. No, no, no. There is Lord Krishna devotees. There will be never any reservation or any expectation by worshipping Lord Krishna. We worship, or the devotees of Lord Krishna or Vishnu worship Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna only to please him, and therefore there is a love. and then only we will get the Krishna Prem. That is the Paramoksha Siddhi. We will get the love by worshipping. With that love, we will get the love. Reciprocation in that reciprocation. A devotee does not worship Vishnu or Lord Krishna for any benediction. Therefore, a devotee is called a karma, free of desire, and a non-devotee is called sarva karma, or desirous of everything. On the seventh day, the demon Vrikasura decided that he should cut off his head and offer it to satisfy Lord Vishnu. Thus, he took a bath in a nearby lake, and without drying his body and hair, he prepared to cut off his head. According to Vedic system, an animal to be offered as a sacrifice has to be bathed first, and while the animal is wet, it is sacrificed. When the demon was thus preparing to cut off his head, Lord Shiva becomes very compassionate. The compassion is a symptom of the quality of goodness. Lord Shiva is called Trilinga, a mixture of the three material qualities. Therefore, his manifestation of the nature of compassion is a sign of quality of goodness. The compassion, however, is present in every living entity. The compassion of Lord Shiva was arose not because the demon was offering his flesh into the sacrificial fire, but because he was about to commit suicide. This is natural compassion. Even if a common man sees someone preparing to commit suicide, he will try to save him. Then why not Lord Shiva? He does so automatically because Lord Shiva is also a devotee. He is a Krishna devotee. Therefore, compassion is always there, and he comes to save. So Lord Shiva's touch. So there is no need to appeal to him. Even if a common, he does not automatically. Okay, there is no need to appeal to him. Therefore, when Lord Shiva appeared from the fire to check the demon from suicide, it was not done as a very great favor to him. Lord Shiva's touch saved the demon from committing suicide. His bodily injuries immediately healed, and his body becomes as if it was. Therefore, the Lord Shiva told the demon, "My dear Vrikasur, you do not need to cut off your head. You may ask from me any benediction you like, and I shall fulfill your desire. I do not know why you wanted to cut off your head to satisfy me. I become satisfied even by an offering of a little water. Actually, according to Vedic process, the Shivalinga in the temple or in the form of Lord Shiva in the temple is worshipped simply by offering Ganges water, because it is said that Lord Shiva is greatly satisfied when Ganges water is poured upon his head. Generally, devotees offer Ganges water and the leaves of a bilva tree, which are especially meant for offering to Lord Shiva and Goddess Durga. The fruit of this tree is also offered to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva assured Vrikasura that he is satisfied by a very simple process of worship. Why then he so eager to cut off his head? And why was he taking so much pain by cutting his body to pieces and offering it in the fire? There was no need of such severe penances. Anyway, out of compassion and sympathy, Lord Shiva prepared to give him any benediction he liked. When the demon was offered this facility by Lord Shiva, he asked for a fearful and abominable benediction. The demon was very sinful, and sinful persons do not know what sort of benediction should be asked from the deity. Therefore, he asked Lord Shiva to bless him with such power that as soon as he would touch anyone's head, it would immediately crack and the man would die. Demons are described in Bhagavad Gita as dushkrutis or miscreants. Kriti means very meritorious, but when du is added, means abominable. Instead of surrendering unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Duskritis worships different demigods to derive abominable material benefits. Although the Duskritis have brain power and merit, their merit and brain power are used for abominable activities. Sometimes, for example, materialistic scientists invent a lethal weapon. The scientific research for such invention certainly requires a very good brain, but instead of inventing something beneficial to the human society, they invent something to accelerate death, which is already assumed to every human being, every man. They cannot show their meritorious power by inventing something which can save from the death. Instead, they invent weapons which accelerate the process of death. Similarly, Vrikasura, instead of asking Lord Shiva for something beneficial to human society, asked for something very dangerous to human society. Lord Shiva is powerful enough to give any benediction, so demon could have asked something beneficial for him, but for his personal interest, he asked that anyone whose head would be touched by his hand would at once die. Lord Shiva could understand the motive of the demon, and he was very sorry that he had assured him whatever benediction he liked. He could not withdraw his promise, but he was very sorry in his heart that he was to offer him a benediction so dangerous to human society. Devotees of the personality of Godhead never ask any benediction from the Lord Vishnu or Krishna, and even if they ask something from the Lord, it is not at all dangerous for human society. That is difference between the demons and the devotees of the worshippers of Lord Shiva and the worship of Lord Vishnu respectively. So this pastime was narrated by Sukdev Goswami, and history of Sukdev Vrikasura was given to um, Parikshit Maharaj. And while Sukdev Goswami was narrating the history of Vrikasura, he addressed Maharaj Parikshit as Bharata, referring King Parikshit's birth in the family of devotees. Maharaj Parikshit was saved by Lord Krishna while in the mother's womb. Later, he could have asked Lord Krishna to save him again from the curse of Brahmana, but he did not do so. The demon, however, wanted to become immortal by killing everyone with touch of his hand. Lord Shiva could understand this, but because he had promised, he gave him the benediction. So Lord Shiva gave him the benediction that Tathastu. The demon, however, being very sinful, immediately decided that he would use his benediction to kill Lord Shiva and take away Gauri, the Parvati, for his personal enjoyment. Means Lord Shiva gave him the benediction, and he want to test that benediction, yes, it is working or not, on Lord Shiva himself. So ungratefulness, that is the demoniac quality. So Lord Shiva then frightened and go to the Lord Vishnu, go to the Brahma. Then Brahma didn't do anything. Go to Vishnu, and then Vishnu come into form of Lord appeared into form of a perfect brahmachari with a belt around his waist, a sacred thread, a deer skin, brahmachari stick, and Rudra beads. Rudra beads are different from Tulsi beads. Rudra beads are used by the devotees of Lord Shiva. Dressed as a brahmachari, Lord Narayana stood before Lord Shiva. The shining effulgence emanating from his body attracted not only Lord Shiva but also the demon Vrikasura. Lord Narayana offered his respects and obeisances unto Vrikasura just to attract his sympathy and attention. Thus, stopping the demon, the Lord addressed him as follows: My dear son of Shakuni, you appear very tired, as if coming from a very distant place. What is your purpose? Why you have come so far? I see that you are fatigued, so I request you to take a little rest. You should not unnecessarily tire your body. So, like that, Lord Brahmachari, Lord in the form of Brahmachari, asked so many things and he suggested to take rest. And the demon was greatly pacified by the sweet words of the Lord Narayana in the form of a brahmachari. And at last, he disclosed all that had happened in regard to the benediction offered to by the Lord Shiva. The Lord replied to the demon as follows: I myself cannot believe that Lord Shiva has in truth given you such a benediction. As far as I know, Lord Shiva is not in a sane mental condition. When he had a quarrel with his father-in-law Daksha, he was cursed to become a pishacha, ghost. Thus he has become the leader of the ghost and hobgoblins. Therefore, I cannot put any faith in his words. But if you still have a faith in the words of Lord Shiva, my dear king of the demons, then why didn't you make an experiment by putting your hand on your own head? If the benediction proves false, then you can at once kill this liar Lord Shiva, so that in the future he will not dare give out false benedictions. So uh, Lord in the form of Brahmachari cheat him. In this way, by Lord Narayana's sweet word and by the expansion of his superior illusion, the demon became bewildered, and he actually forgot the power of Lord Shiva and his benediction. He was thus very easily persuaded to put his hand on his own head. As soon as the demon did that, his head cracked, as if struck by a thunderbolt, and if immediately he immediately died. The demigods from heaven showered flower on Lord Narayana, praising him with shots of all glories and all thanksgiving, and they offered their obeisances to the Lord. On the death of Vrikasura, all the denizens of the higher planetary systems, namely demigods, the Pitras, the Gandharvas, and the inhabitants of Janaloka, showered flowers on the personality of Godhead. Thus, Lord Vishnu, in the form of Brahmachari, released Lord Shiva from the impending danger and saved the whole situation. Lord Narayana then informed Lord Shiva that this demon Vrikasura was killed as the result of his sinful activities. He was especially sinful and offensive because he wanted to experiment on his own master, Lord Shiva. Lord Narayana then told Lord Shiva, "My dear Lord," Lord Narayana is telling, "a person who commits an offense to great souls cannot continue to exist. He is vanquished by his own sinful activities, and this is certainly true of this demon who has committed such an offensive act against you." So, Lord Krishna, Lord Narayana, giving credit to Shiva only, that anyone who do offense to my devotee, he will be vanished. Thus, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, who is transcendental to all material qualities, Lord Shiva was saved from being killed by a demon. So, deliverance of Lord Shiva. Anyone who hears this history, the benefit, what we will get by reading or listening to this story. Anyone who hears this history with faith and devotion is certainly liberated from material entanglement as well as from the clutches of his enemies. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 88th chapter of Krishna, the deliverance of Lord Shiva. So, thank you very much. That we will get the benediction that will remove all the entanglement in this material world, and thus we'll pray for each other that this Krishna conscious stories will get so many benedictions to us, and by listening these two stories we will get more devotional service and we will get more service to perform during the Janmashtami. So thanks a lot for giving me a chance to speak about or read up from the Krishna book.